If y'all ever seen that video when Casanat was talking to Shannon Sharp?
Streaming, is it harder than a 9 to 5?
Is streaming harder than a 9 to 5?
Yes.
No. Hell no.
Some people will agree with that and others may not. Now, working a 9 to 5 myself, being in the railroad industry, I can say physically a lot of people can't do what I do. So in that sense, I would say it's harder. But if you ever made content before, you will realize something real quick, that it can be very taxing on your mind mentally and sometimes physically. Now, the pro is with a job, all you gotta do is just show up and you're gonna get paid. Now, if you're making content, you have to really be in your creative bag and curate pieces to add up to the hours of time that you're working a real job. Now, I would consider myself, and most people, part-time content creators. Now, the people that's making money, like major paper, they kind of figured it out and cracked the code on how to turn that shit into a lucrative business. They are performing at a high clip and they putting videos out that match the hours of the time that you will work if you had a job. If you understand what I'm saying, then you understand what the fuck I'm saying. Making content is very hard. Just an hour. Imagine making an hour of content, not just cutting the camera on and just talking for an hour. I feel like anybody can do that, but to do it with quality to where you could break your time down and be able to chop it up and give it to the masses. So on a weekly basis, if you was to make 30 minutes of content, just 30 minutes of content for the month, that's only 2 hours. If you're doing an hour worth of content, it need to be broken down into 4 pieces, or you could break it down into damn 8 pieces. You know what I'm saying? That way you can post more frequently throughout the week instead of just one body of work. And the body of work may be good, but people need to see you more frequently to know that you are being consistent with putting in that work. That's how you able to, build your resume up. There was a scene where Larry Jones was talking to Wallow, and he was saying, like, at the minimum, you need to put 30 minutes to your craft. That's like beginner's level, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, eventually, you need to step them hours up. Yo, you don't get no results if you're only putting a little bit of time into it. Ultimately, that's what I'm saying. So, being the content creator myself, I'm realizing that this shit is actually hard, and if I want to be successful at it, I gotta come up with a formula to where I can be consistent more frequently, and my time online will add up to part-time hours, because I would consider everybody part-time content creators, because who really is putting out 6 hours worth of content on a daily basis? That shit is hard, so looking at it from a standpoint of having a job and going to clock in for 8 hours or 10 hours, imagine and ask yourself, can you make 10 hours or 8 hours worth of content on a daily basis? If you can do that shit, you're going to blow. But if you can't, you got to figure out how to be consistent and get good at getting your hours up. So, to Casanat, yo, this is why he's on top of the game. And I would think streaming would be different than making content, because I think there's people who sit down and stream that you're not really doing nothing. Are you doing this looking at the camera and entertaining your viewers, however you choose to do? Some people in the room, other people are out and about. So you got to do what works for you. But I would consider that easy, and that would add on to your content creation. But making content, yo, you gotta know what the fuck you want to do. Everybody can make content, but everybody can't be successful at it, and that's the truth, yo. So let me know what y'all think, how y'all feel about this, because you gotta ask yourself, am I a full-time content creator or I'm a part-time? If you're not popping off, it's because you're part-time, and I would consider myself part-time, like very low minimum hours part-time. So now we got to figure out how to get them hours up, yo. So let me know.